Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with everything that's been said on this subject so far. And I think that in terms of taking a look at the legalities of this, that it seems to be a clear obligation that this can't go forward. This is inappropriate. Right, is anyone comment? Right. Marie?
Yes, my name is Marie Parcell, and also from Purvell. Some of this has come up through this hearing. I am opposed to Senate Bill 1534. The internet is a form of communication similar to the mail and the telephone, and our present laws are adequate to criminal issues. They're adequate to prosecuting criminal issues. We don't need extra laws specific to one form of communication. That's the first thing. Second, if a crime is a misdemeanor, it should only be prosecuted as such, and if it's a felony, it's prosecuted as such. The method by which it's prosecuted shouldn't be dependent on the way it is planned, by what form of communication, word of mouth, or the internet. But mainly, any law specific to internet communication and organization would have a chilling effect on free speech and freedom of association. One cannot guarantee the actions of everyone who might read one's posts. And the chilling effect on freedom of speech and the change of the person who's sending out a post saying, let's meet, is more liable for criminal prosecution than people who show up. I mean, and presumably they're supposed to control them. This is the most enforcement issue, that people will be hesitant to post things on the internet, which is a form of communication. It's killing the freedom of speech, it's killing to a freedom of association. And I'm against this law. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see if there's any questions. Thank you all very much for coming forward today and giving your testimony. All right, our next panel is Catherine Moore, Gregory, I'm going to say Fernward.
Forward.
Forward, and Catherine Bell is G and O. And then Ann Buell. Ann, who's late entry.
Hi, my name is Catherine Moore, and I am here in opposition to Senate Bill 1534. I am a stay-at-home mom. My husband and I own a small business in Salem, this bill would make me a felon right now, if this was enacted right now, because I have never been in trouble with the law, but I have been at various protests. I had tweeted out that I'm going to various protests, that I would like other people to meet me at various protests, and there have been acts of civil disobedience that have been committed at those various protests. This law right now would put me as a felon. That is absolutely unacceptable, and I will strongly, strongly urge you to not let this move forward.
Just before we take other testimony, for those who are in the room with cell phones, it would be nice if you would turn them off so we don't disturb our speakers. Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you, Senators. My name is Greg Forward. I own 2 small businesses. I've lived in Oregon for 6 months, so I am a newcomer. But I am firmly opposed to a lot of the language in this bill. Specifically, in Section 1, Article 3, it states, the state need not prove that the electronic communication was received by specific persons or that the defendant intended for specific persons to engage in the criminal activity. That basically goes against the Fifth Amendment of due process. That puts the burden of the onus of innocence on us to prove ourselves innocent. That's not right. Also, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states everyone charged with penal offense has the right to be presumed innocent until proved guilty, according to the law. There are a number of things that I could cite in here, but I will tell you that I organized a flash mob right on the West Steps February 1st. It was a celebration of our First Amendment rights of freedom of assembly. If I'm going to be charged with a felony, so be it. I firmly support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ann?
Hi, my name is Ann Buell, and I agree with what everyone here has said so far, and I just would like to add that I disagree with this bill because it infringes on my right to free speech. That's all.
Thank you. Questions? Senator Cruz first.
Just a question. You organized a gathering here on the steps, right?
Correct.
Did you get permission to do that before you did it?
I have a permit, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you did it legally. Thank you.
If I could add one thing, please. It should not be on an organizer. I'm a cause-based concert organizer, fundraising organizer for a number of different causes and charities. It should not be on the organizer if somebody else participates in a criminal activity.
Senator Whitsett?
To respond to that, this bill is carefully written to protect you from that. You have to have the willful intent of causing or soliciting someone else to commit a crime in your communication. The fact that you organized a lawful assembly, the fact that you came and occupied some place and weren't disturbing the peace, that is, you're not liable for anything. If in fact you followed the laws you did to bring somebody to the Capitol steps and to a group of people, and your intent was not to cause a problem, you lawfully assembled, that was your intent, and someone else went out of their way to cause a problem, you're not liable for anything under this bill because you did not solicit them to do that. You solicited them to come there lawfully, not to do something else. That's specifically how that bill is written. And I am probably one of the stronger protectors of the Constitution in this building, and we may have dropped the ball on getting it done, but the purpose was to respond to this problem without trampling on the Constitution.
So if I can respond to that, as somebody who has tweeted out and said, I would like, if I tweeted out that we should all get together at a park at 9 p.m. and the park closes at 9 p.m. and we should sit there as a form of civil disobedience, I would be prosecuted under this law. So you are in effect saying that that we would then be charged with a felony conviction for a misdemeanor offense. Is that correct? That's what I'm hearing you state.
That could be a possibility.
Okay, and that's what I object to. That's what I objected very strongly to, and that could be a possibility.
But you would have to be found in violation of the law in order to do that. You would have to be somehow found in violation of the keeping the peace. And if you did that and you were asked to disperse by a police officer because you in fact were violating the law and you did that, you would be liable.
Okay, so this is against acts of civil disobedience. So this law is targeting acts of civil disobedience tweeted out. Is that what I hear you're stating?
No.
Yes.
That's its offense.
All right.
Sorry. I just need to reiterate one more thing. Again, the state need not prove. That language needs to be amended at the very least.
Any other comments? Thank you all very much for coming forward. Is there anyone else who wanted to give testimony today on Senate Bill 1534 that has not already given testimony?
Have we done?
Yeah. Public hearing? Yes.
I'm curious. Just curious about this. If I ask you to come to my house, I'm going to hit a bank, and I'm the organizer, and say, all right, you're going to do the driving, you're going to do the guarding outside. I and you are going to win. You make the demand, or I'll hold the gun to make the demand, you're going to get. So you all got a responsibility. And then we have several more meetings in my house, but between those meetings, I'm using text and emails to sort of tell different other details. Would this also reach in, since it was not the original, you know what I'm saying, if the original solicitation, however you want to describe my activities, were done in person, those correspondence that took place between the meetings, does this affect that in terms of ratcheting up additional charges against me? I'm just curious one way or the other. Do you understand the context of my remarks?
I believe that would be more akin to conspiracy
in your communications via text message, if those communications are crimes of themselves, then this would fall into this bill.
Well, okay, I decided we're gonna hit it on a Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock. It's either gonna be this Thursday or that Thursday. If that was in one of the communications, then it fits. I mean, I'm not trying to trick you, I'm just curious if it probably would.
I think it could, and I think what council's hit on is something that I also recognize, that we already have a bank law also dealing with conspiracy, and in conspiracy where you actually are conspiring with others to do certain things. So, Senator Courtney, I think in your example, you would definitely have multiple charges that could be brought forward. And if the dialogue continued online, and you were, I mean, it would be a fact-based, but if you actually were talking about meeting in some location, you restated that, then I think you could in fact have broadened enough that maybe you can call it on under this particular statute as it's currently written.
Thank you. And I would follow up on that. As I understand it, and of course I'm not an attorney, but as I understand it, if you can solicit the crime without someone responding to that solicitation, it's my understanding that if that person responds to your solicitation, you are then conspiring together, and it changes the situation. One is soliciting a group of people. If one of those people responds back to you, those two people, then I believe, are in conspiracy or then they're pretty drunk.
Yeah, they could be, but you still have solicitation that also be one that would run with the conduct that occurred on the front end. So it wouldn't shift from one end to the other. That we would say in prosecution business, our tools in the toolbox would be which has been expanded and we can add all charges to it. All right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing on 1534. We have one more person. I'm sorry.
Could I speak?
You can, but you're on the list, so that's why you weren't being recognized. But please come forward and give us your name.
Thank you.
And your name?
Stephanie Hampton.
Ms. Hampton, go right ahead.
Okay. I'd like to thank Senator Courtney for his question. And I want to turn that around and say he wasn't planning a bank robbery, but say a misdemeanor charge. Something about camping, say, in public parks. And my concern about this bill is that it felonizes misdemeanors using communication. I object to this bill because it criminalizes Oregon's First Amendment rights to free speech and assembly. There is no language in this bill exempting this, and I would like to read into the record the Oregon State Constitution, Article 1, Bill of Rights, which is my permit to be here. Section 26, assemblages of people, instruction of representatives, application to legislature. No law shall be passed restraining any of the inhabitants of the state from assembling together in a peaceable manner to consult for their common good, nor from instructing their representatives, nor from applying to the legislature for redress of grievances. I feel that this bill perhaps gives too many tools to those who might misuse the laws in order to abridge the free expression of the citizens of Oregon when they speak.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing on Senate Bill 1534. I'm also going to make a statement. If you notice, this is one of two bills today that was scheduled for public hearing only. Because of our rules that we have for the short session, it is required that by 5 o'clock today, if a bill is moving forward, it must be posted. So if you do not see 1534 posted after today, that means the bill will not be moving forward this session. With that, we'll move into our next public hearing. And let's see, Council, you're ready? I'm ready. All right, we're going to go ahead and go back to the one that Bill's here on, so I'm going to go ahead and open